We present the work of the great leader Kim Jong Il, Socialism is a Science, made public on November the 1st, 1994. This is the third installment. The limitations of the preceding theory based on the materialist outlook on history have been revealed more clearly in the course of socialist construction since the establishment of the socialist system. In general, the more a society develops, the greater the role played by the popular masses, the driving force of a social movement becomes. This is because their independent consciousness and creative ability increase with the development of society. The role of the popular masses as the driving force of a social movement is raised to an unprecedented level in socialist society. Socialist society develops thanks to the creative power of the popular masses who are armed with a high level of consciousness and are united as one. In socialist society, the transformation of man, his ideological remolding, becomes a more important and primary task than that of creating the material and economic conditions of socialism. Only when precedence is given to the transformation of man will it be possible to strengthen the driving force of the revolution and increase its role, and thus build socialism successfully. If the ideological remolding of the popular masses is regarded as a matter of secondary importance, and the work of strengthening the driving force of the revolution and enhancing its role is neglected in socialist society, while attaching decisive importance to the objective material and economic conditions and concentrating only on economic construction, the building of socialism as a whole cannot be carried out properly, and economic construction itself cannot avoid stagnation. These practices were very apparent in some countries which had been building socialism in the past. Taking advantage of this, the renegades of socialism carried out reforms and committed counter-revolutionary acts, destroying the socialist economic system itself. In the past, the founders of Marxism evolved the socialist theory by putting the main stress on material and economic conditions. This is to do with the fact that it was regarded as an important historical task to disprove the bourgeois reactionary theory which consecrated capitalism and preached its eternity while maintaining mysticism and fatalism. But now the renegades of socialism are advocating the material is almighty doctrine and the economy is almighty doctrine in order to restore capitalism, of which they harbor illusions. Putting socialism on a new scientific basis was regarded as a very urgent task, not only to overcome the historical limitations of the preceding theory of socialism, but also to defend socialism against all kinds of opportunist distortions and imperialist attacks. The historical task of putting socialism on a new scientific basis was successfully solved by the great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung, who created the Juche idea and on this basis evolved an original socialist theory. The respected Comrade Kim Il-sung discovered the philosophical principle that man is the master of everything and decides everything. He explained a new law which governed the social movement, the movement of the motive force, and he thus put socialism on a new scientific basis. The socialist and communist course, as clarified by the Juche idea, is the course of the popular masses for their complete independence. Socialism, as scientifically systematized by the great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung, is man-centered socialism, and socialism centered on the masses. Ours is a socialism where the popular masses are the masters of everything, where everything serves them, and which is developing through their united efforts. The Juche-orientated theory of socialism scientifically clarified the essence of socialism and the law governing its development by placing man at the center. On this basis, the theory explained that if the building of socialism is to succeed, a vigorous struggle must be waged to occupy the two fortresses of socialism and communism, the ideological and material fortresses, and that here absolute precedence must be given to the struggle to take the ideological fortress. The scientific accuracy and truth of the Juche-orientated theory of socialism have been proved by the practical experience of our revolution. Our people began to wage the struggle for socialism in the backward circumstances of a colonial semi-feudal society. They had to carry out the revolution and construction under unusually difficult circumstances. Despite this, our party could successfully blaze the trail for socialism by constantly making its main task that of firmly uniting the popular masses around the party and the leader, organizationally and ideologically, as required by the Juche idea, thus strengthening the driving force of the revolution and enhancing its role. Our party is increasing the political and ideological might of our revolution in every possible way by giving definite priority to the transformation of man, to ideological remolding in all work in the building of socialism, while at the same time strengthening our self-reliant national economy and defense. As a result, it is vigorously advancing the revolution and construction without vacillation, even under the present complex circumstances. Practical experience clearly shows that our socialism, the embodiment of the Juche idea, is the most scientific and viable socialism.